I'm going to just get both of you to step back from this particular venture and talk to me a little bit about what's happening across the sector at this point in time, what you see as far as growth is concerned, consumer spending, consumer outlook. And I'll start with you, Mr. Bhatia. You know, across aviation, hospitality, we've seen a bounce back, significant bounce back post-COVID. What's the sense that you get, both domestic as well as internationally, on growth outlook?
I mean, Shereen, you know this as well as I do. Everything that we see around us, I think the whole travel and hospitality industries are on a completely new trajectory. And, you know, some of the pundits had said, you know, maybe the post-COVID sheen will come off at a certain moment in time. We don't see that. And, I mean, we probably have a slightly differentiated view on India, given that, you know, we start on a very small base. I think we are, from that point of view, favorably positioned to just embrace everything that's going to come in this country over the next 15 or 20 years. Yeah.
So you don't expect there to be any, I mean, we're now back at perhaps even higher than COVID levels across many of these sectors, including now aviation back to 2019 levels. So you're not seeing any indications at this point in time of any sort of slowing down?
I mean, I'm going to make the classical comparison between China and India. You look at the number of hotel assets in China versus India. You look at the number of aircrafts flying in China versus India. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that, you know, that we have an enormous opportunity. Probably the last bastion of what I would call enormous growth in aviation and hospitality globally. And I'm, you know, in some ways privileged that we are on the scene at this moment in time.
Yes, placing historic orders as well as far as Indigo is concerned. But let me ask you about the outlook as far as the IT sector is concerned, because there is nervousness at this point in time in terms of what's happening as far as discretionary spends are concerned. And you're entering the market in a time of volatility, particularly for the IT sector, where nobody really knows how AI is going to disrupt things for the incumbents. What do you see as the big risks as you enter?
I think I'm going to be a little more anecdotal here. I meet a CEO of a leading hotel chain. You know what our discussion is? How do we integrate UPI into our payment systems? My daughter and son-in-law are visiting from US. You know, it was not just the reaction around, you know, the UPI or the, you know, the various payment instruments. I mean, they are bowled over by things like VFast. To them, Blinkit has been invented in India. That in 10 minutes, their child needs A, or somebody needs a B, and a third person needs a C. And it is not only one service. There are 3 service providers which give you a service in 10 minutes. Now, where are these anecdotes leading to? That if technology is harnessed with the domain knowledge, if you harness it with data, then you create user experiences that will continuously define you. It is not about the old way of doing business. And I think we are lucky because we are starting with that user experience, with that domain knowledge, and bringing that fabric together. So hence, I would not like to be compared with, you know, one quarterly result of somebody.
Are you relieved that you don't have to deal with that any longer?
I definitely am.
No more quarter to quarter living for you.
I mean, I do expect that little grief to come during the board meetings from Rahul, but at least I'm dealing with that in the boardroom, not with the analysts.
Yeah, but on a serious note, you know, you talked about the fact that you're starting afresh in many ways. Given the fact that you've done 40 years in this sector, 20 at Tech Mahindra, what do you believe you will need to unlearn, or what are you trying to unlearn as you start afresh?
I think, I mean, the best part of those 20 years is that I have no regrets, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful experiences. You know, when I look at the peep into the future, I never think I had this clean a slate to write what the new paradigm would be. So when I was giving you those examples of Blinkit or anything else or a VFast, it was basically telling you that the opportunity is looking at a customer and understanding their needs and being able to rewrite the whole slate. I think that is really where I'm excited about, and I genuinely believe it's a huge opportunity.
You know, speaking of opportunities as well as what technology has been able to do at the level of, you know, cost saving, efficiency, as well as improve customer experience, what have been the big changes that you've seen over the last 5 years, and where do you believe we are on that transformation curve or disruption curve across some of the businesses that you operate in?
You know, generally speaking, Shereen, I think we are at the front end of that change. I think what we will experience over the next 10 years is going to circumscribe what we have seen in the last 30. And companies like the one that CP is setting up alongside ourselves is going to be part of that evolution.
But the challenge that he spoke of, and you know, in hospitality or aviation, which are largely people-oriented, people-driven business, what role do you see technology playing there in terms of optimizing the way that you operate your workforce, the number of people that you get onto the workforce, etc.? Do you see that changing significantly over the next few years?
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought I mentioned to you earlier that we have, I'm speaking for ourselves, and I think that has applicability also with other operators, embracing technology, using artificial intelligence as a vehicle. I think there are significant opportunities in terms of creating value in our cost structure, and I just think that somebody will crack that nut.
But do you believe that we will see, in terms of just plain headcount addition, you know, a significant difference in the way that you hire given the use of technology?
Well, per capita headcount would probably go down, but if you're in a growth market like India, absolute numbers would stay stable. I mean, look at what we have recently announced in partnership with Archer. It's leapfrogging, you know, how people have understood urban mobility, where you can move from in a highly congested area from one point to the other in a spectacularly short period of time.
Do you have the appetite for more? I mean, you know, given the expanse of the businesses that you're in, and now with this latest one and the opportunities that you see on the horizon, appetite to do more?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the appetite, Shereen, but I can tell you that the soul is restless. So we'll see how it goes.
What's looking exciting outside of what you already are dabbling in and what you're already well entrenched in?
This whole thing with Archer, for example, is at the cutting edge of urban mobility. We met them a year ago. It's designed for cities that are highly congested. It is not certified yet, even in the United States of America. But our objective is to actually be able to introduce that vehicle in India as soon as it's able to fly in the United States. So we will probably be one of the first countries in the world that would introduce that product. And I'm certain that it'll take on this country like a house on fire.
Well, speaking of bets, you said that you wanted to give entrepreneurship a shot, and this is your way of being able to do that. He's, of course, a serial entrepreneur. What have been the conversations around entrepreneurship between the two of you?
I think it's always been about building institutions that last beyond us. It has always been about creating an impact and being able to participate in the India growth story.
Thanks very much for joining us on CNBC-TV18, and we look forward to hearing a lot more from you. Well, CP Gurnani and Rahul Bhatia there on their new tech venture. But for now, from all of us here on CNBC-TV18, many thanks for watching. We're back in a moment after this short break with a lot more.